Hey guys, I'm back. I'm also Sarah, and I'm a little far away from home. Let's just say I'm having my own the summer I turned pretty moment, but now that I'm gone, all I can think of is how much I miss America. America is my home, and I love it, and especially I love the people, so today I'm here to defend them. What we now call America began with the complete genocide of the indigenous people who dared to live their lives on the land the European colonizers wanted. So-called settlers killed 56 million indigenous people in their crusade, a number so significant that, according to Lauren Kent, it caused a little ice age. They nearly eradicated an entire population of people, took the land they were living on, destroyed their infrastructure, stole their resources, and used them to feed the next generation that would follow in their predecessors' footsteps. It was horrific and inexcusable, and the perpetrators of those atrocities will forever be known as some of the worst villains in all of history. And those that continue to excuse their actions and subjugate indigenous people should be sent to Mars. If you want to watch some content with indigenous people that isn't just them experiencing pain and trauma, ND&D has a D&D campaign DM'd and played by exclusively indigenous people, which is really cool and should pop up on the screen somewhere. And on the land soaked with the blood of millions of indigenous people, Americans used enslaved people to build their homes and businesses, take care of their children, clean their homes, and toil away doing the work the slavers couldn't bear to pay for. They stole nearly 400,000 African people and subjected them to deadly journeys across the sea. And in the case they survived the journey, they were put into a slave trade that dehumanized them, destroyed their bodies, stripped them of any culture they once had, and made it so that they, their family, and any children they may have would spend their whole lives in a system that enslaved them and sold them as if they were cattle. Thinking about it for even a second is horrifying, so the fact that people persevered, escaped, created lives for themselves, and kept their identities among all of this is one of the most unimaginably impressive feats in recorded history. That only served as a precursor to systems that continue to subjugate people of color at every turn. The slave patrol became what we now know as the police, who follow in their predecessors' footsteps by continuing to ruin the lives of, kill, and legally enslave Black people. Treaties meant to protect indigenous people's rights were continuously broken, forcing the remaining indigenous populations into reservations where they were governed by US federal law, erasing traditional practices for adjudicating crimes, and forcing conversion programs that tried to literally beat the language and culture out of their children. These reservations continue to keep indigenous people under the thumb of the US government, with the percentage of indigenous people in poverty being more than 25%. And the average unemployment rate on reservations being about 50%. The crimes of colonizers will always stain every action made by the US government, because they will never address these systemic issues for fear of actually acknowledging the sheer degree of discrimination they have allowed to happen for centuries. All of that doesn't even cover the discrimination and restriction of Chinese immigrants, the forcing 120,000 Japanese Americans into internment camps during World War II, police discrimination against Latinx people, and the fact that, as of 2016, hate crimes against Muslims have quintupled since 9/11. That doesn't include all the unnecessary wars the US got involved in or started for no reason. To assert dominance over the so-called Third World and steal our resources. Sorry, there's something stuck in my throat. America, as an institution, is pretty shit. Turn after turn, the US has chosen to make every attempt to destroy the lives of people of color, citizens or otherwise. Pretty much every minority or subjugated group has had it pretty tough in the US, and that's an understatement. But at every hurdle, Americans have persevered. Harriet Tubman and other abolitionists fought to end slavery, civil rights activists fought to end segregation, and today, the Black Lives Matter movement, Black community leaders, and other organizations are working to end the school-to-prison pipeline and protect Black Americans from police brutality. From the Pueblo Revolt in 1680 to the Alcatraz occupation in 1969 to today's organizations like the International Indian Treaty Council, who work to preserve the rights and cultures of indigenous groups, indigenous people have resisted their violent removal from land that was stolen from them. The Asian American movement, the Chicano movement, CARE, all came from a desire to oppose discrimination. American people, particularly Americans of color, have persevered through their hardships, and nobody, including the government, will be able to erase the fingerprints they've put all over American culture. Immigrants and Americans of color are America. They're the lifeblood of this country, the ones who make it run, and the ones who give it any flavor at all, literally and figuratively. America, some seem to forget, began as a hub for immigrants. The US promised a better life for millions of European migrants too, but some of their descendants are now fighting against those coming here with the same intentions. Hamburgers are German, French fries are French or Belgian. I'm not getting involved in that conversation. Baseball came from a combination of European kids' games, football was just a mix of soccer and rugby, and let's be clear, Americans don't spend all day eating American foods as other countries might. On the daily, Americans are consuming a whole variety of cuisines, with Mexican, Italian, Chinese, and Indian being the most popular. It isn't really authentic, but it isn't necessarily authentically American either. Honestly, the truest American cultural symbols are just variations and adaptations from things all around the world. Even the philosophies our country was built on are foreign. Hobbes, British. Locke, British. Rousseau, French. The whole melting pot thing doesn't paint the real picture. America isn't a fondue, no matter how much we love the melting pot. It's more of a salad or a 20-layer dip. Is the food metaphor still working? Should I drop it? I'm gonna drop it. Okay, so America is all about immigrants, but there are still a lot of sucky 52nd generation Americans. What about them? I couldn't possibly defend them too, could I? Let's be so clear here. I do not support or condone any of the thoughts or actions of the people I'm about to talk about. I just hate the Americans are so stupid and violent thing. It's a dumb oversimplification of a very, very nuanced issue. Okay, first off is bigotry, which I have no explanation for because it is just plain old awful and stupid. I hate bigots, and they are not included in this defense, but bigotry hardly started and ended in the US. And it's not like bigotry doesn't still exist here. Europeans talk a big talk for a group of countries that include ones that restrict religious freedom to target Muslim people. I see you, France. Trust. We already had problems, but it'll never be over. And you guys are famous for hating immigrants. Oh, and the way you refuse to acknowledge how awful the impact is that you guys have had on the world because of colonization is crazy. Those American pioneers had to come from somewhere. New England, New Amsterdam, like, girl. I'm not excusing American bigots because, oh, everyone's doing it, so it's fine. But I'm just reminding you, it is not an American issue. You know, stones, glass houses. Let's get to an actual American issue, the gun thing. This is what I hear the most about here, especially after the Charlie Kirk stuff, which I'm not getting into that. Gun violence is a massive issue in the US. According to the CDC, 46,728 people died from gun-related incidents in 2023. In the US, 80% of murders and 55% of suicides are inflicted with guns. Depending on the definition you're using, up to 233 school shootings happened in 2025 alone. I'm still getting used to the fact that that's not an issue here. Those who ignore and excuse gun violence, like one right-wing activist who said,
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Deserve no sympathy or power to make decisions on anything. Unfortunately, a lot of those people are currently running the country, and I couldn't get through an analysis of them in 100 videos, let alone one. No. I would rather focus on the normal people who seem to have an unusual attachment to their firearms. If you didn't already know, the US Constitution's Second Amendment states the following. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. That includes a bit more than the right to bear arms thing most people say. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state adds a whole new level to the American desire to protect our right to bear arms. Ontological security has many definitions, but I'll give you one based off of what I've studied. Ontological security is a feeling of safety in routines, governments, and systems around a person. So it isn't about safety physically, but more safety from anxiety and instability. The sentiment that you won't be fired tomorrow if you continue to do your job well, or if you are fired, that there are procedures to take care of your financial stability. The safety you get from the assurance you won't lose your fundamental rights overnight. The way that you can sleep well, knowing that you'll continue on in life without the risk of being suddenly upheaved. Yeah, Americans are very ontologically insecure. Upheaval after upheaval, we keep getting more and more unsure that when we wake up tomorrow, our lives won't be fundamentally different. What do you do when you just can't feel safe because of constant changes in laws and political upheaval? Well, you might leave the country to get rid of the issue entirely, but that's really expensive and is anxiety-inducing enough in itself. You could completely check out of your brain or go along with the crazy, or you could find another way to protect yourself. One of America's founding tenets, and something they found so important they made it Amendment number 2, is that Americans should have the right to defend themselves in case of danger or corruption. For most gun owners, guns are a tool of self-defense, not violence. If anyone could have a gun, then I should have a gun to keep myself safe. There's a reason that a time series analysis of firearm purchasing after mass shooting events in the United States found that 21% of major mass shootings between 1998 and 2016 were significantly associated with increases in gun purchases. The whole good guy with a gun narrative is super common, and honestly, it just gives main character energy. Another threat to ontological security, I don't know if you heard of it, but COVID-19 also impacted gun sales, with the percentage of gun-owning household going from 32% to 39% between 2016 and 2021. Another statistic estimated that 2.3 million firearms were purchased in January of 2021 alone. With one-fifth of these sales being from first-time gun owners, it's even easier to posit that Americans, whether unknowingly or not, have the instinct to buy guns as a means of protection in any threatening situation. The issue with this doesn't come from inherent violence or a proclivity to shoot people, as many might assume. Mass violence is a global issue, but the insane ease of acquiring a weapon of mass destruction in the US makes it a top offender. Of all minor school shooters, 75% gain their guns through family, friends, or legal dealers. Guns shouldn't be prevalent enough that a potentially violent person could obtain one with ease. Gun control and legal retributions for unsafe firearm storage are often proposed solutions, but if more than 70% of gun owners claim self-protection as their primary reason for gun ownership, why would a complete purge of civilian firearms not be a viable solution? If you aim to be the good guy with the gun, why not eradicate the issue entirely by removing guns from the situation? One could say it's for protection against foreign attack, but arguably, America has the most powerful military and police systems in the world. Do people think they could just do better? Probably. Blind confidence is very American. But no, it's not because of that. It's because even for the most pro-police, pro-military patriots of our country, there will always be a fundamental distrust of the government. It was built into the very foundation of the country. The security of a free state isn't referring to foreign invasion, but highlighting the potential corruption that could come to our democracy. A bad actor could come in, weaponize people's struggles, and use the full force of the US military to make sure everybody obeys. The US could stray from the very foundations it was built upon to suit the ego of a madman. Fanatics could find a way to force their beliefs on the country through full government control. That would never happen. Let's recap. America, bad. Americans, good. Guns, bad. American gun owners, complicated people who might view guns as the only defense against a theoretical threat to their rights. Do you believe me now that America's not the worst, actually? No. Well, I guess it's time for America's Best Hits speed round. Ice water, ranch dressing, bloomin' onions, air conditioners, Dryers, garbage disposals, Texas Roadhouse, big houses for relatively cheap, the fact that you can find basically any biome within the United States, the city of New York, free public library systems. Time's up. Honestly, there's just too much to list in such a short time. But a couple of messages for the masses, to non-Americans. Give Americans, the people, not the government, a chance. A lot of us are very nice and cool and cultured. Yes, cultured. I thought going abroad would mean I would see more diversity than I ever could in Ohio. But guys, it is so white here. You can meet people from literally anywhere in America, and that's not an exaggeration. It feels like that should be obvious since America's whole tagline was, "Come immigrate here. It'll be cool." And to my fellow Americans, you have so much all around you, regardless of where you're from. We live in very abundant communities with their own problems, yes, but also their own little stories. Community is so strong there. Don't take it for granted. Continue to fight for what's right. Look around and see the impact of political decisions on the people around you. Run for office if you see a lack of representation in local offices. I'm not kidding. We need more normal people with normal jobs and normal lives to get into local office and make the community better for people like them. America has endless potential, but apathy and inaction are holding us back. So vote. I swear to God, if you're 18, you better be voting. Contribute to your community and appreciate all the beauty that is around you. So for this, I'm supposed to walk off screen and then walk back on, but I'm currently sitting on my bed and I'm not going to do that. So,
Hey. Hey. How y'all doing?
Okay, I know. I'm sorry. I've been gone for more than a year now, and trust me, I'm also very upset about it. But guys, I've been booked and busy. I graduated colleges. Yay. Good job, Sarah. We love you so much. Thank you. Oh my God. I worked at a country club. Ugh. And yeah, I moved to a different country to get my master's. Oh, also, Cat's Eye released Gnarly. I can't believe my last video was created in a world pre-Gnarly. I love you guys so much. You exponentially grew my channel last video, and I can't believe it. Like, I know I'm a small creator, like the smallest probably, but God, it was so exciting, and I really appreciate it. I work really hard on these videos, and I like to make sure that the videos are good before I release them. Like, I don't make videos just to make a video. If I wouldn't watch the video, I'm not making the video. I'm not going to release it and expect you guys to like it. Honestly, guys, the European superiority complex really fueled this one. I told people in a group project that I liked where I was from, and they laughed at me. And I was just like, oh, sorry, didn't know that was funny. Like, thank you all for watching this far. If you made it this far, maybe, you know, the pink heart with the little pink heart, maybe leave a comment with that and tell me how cool and funny and awesome I am. Okay, love you, bye. Cast me as someone British, please. My British accent is so good. Accent is so good. Daughter. Bottle. The children yearn to protect their right to bear arms. Stars and stripes, stars and stripes. So cool. Stars, stripes. Come on, mama. Will you please just let me do my video from here? You can look at my hairy knees. I'm done. I can't believe it. I'm so happy.